If you've ever played with the thought of starting a software company, you've clicked on the right video. In this video, I will show you the specific process of going from not having a clue what to do to having a clear concept for a multi-million-dollar software. Wondering why should I listen to this weird guy standing in a weird hotel? Well, I'm Ben, I'm 22 years old. I am a co-founder of a software company, and last year I scaled it to 8 figures. My life went from not being able to afford a drink with my kebab to the good life. So let's get into it. How to start a $1 million software. Step number 1 is getting the right idea. And honestly, this is where most people fail. Because if you think that a good software comes from hours and hours of brainstorming and days where you lock yourself in and you only brainstorm about what your software will do, you're terribly wrong. The best software ideas come from products that solve a problem, that remove pain from an individual, are the ones that make the most money. Because think about it, every single successful, even business, not just software, every successful business on this planet, what does it do? It solves a problem for someone. This is why there's a demand. And if your software doesn't solve a problem, then you'll never sell it. As simple as that. So what I want you to do for the next 24 hours is switch on, be aware, and analyze your day-to-day. Where do you get frustrated? Where do you get annoyed? Where do you feel inefficient? Write all these things down, because what will that do? That will give you potential ideas for fixes for this pain, and these will be the best software ideas that you can come up with, because they are based on a pain that you feel in your day-to-day life. And if you understand the problem and understand the solution, it'll be much easier to make a product that fixes the problem. And that's the core of a successful software. I did this experiment myself in order to prepare for this video, and I found a few situations where I got annoyed and I could make a software to fix this problem. The 3 situations I had was, number 1 was where I felt so annoyed that I'm just not good enough with Excel and that I don't know all the secret special formulas, and how nice it would be to have an AI web app that looks at my Excel sheet and finds optimizations and helps me to build a proper Excel sheet and help me to do the formulas to make things that are super complicated simple, because that could take me from sitting in Excel for hours to very quick, simple. The second idea I had, based on a problem from my life, was that manually sending emails and reminders just got so annoying that I thought, how good would it be to have like a companion where I put, send this reminder to this person at this time, send this follow-up to this person this time, and it just automatically does that. That would be a super useful software. Number 3 was that because now I have a boxing fight in April and I still need to lose a fair bit of weight, so I'm tracking my calories. And I got so frustrated when I wanted to track a meal. I had the label in front of me and the nutrients were wrong. And then I backtracked it and saw that it's pretty much all inaccurate. I was not happy with the intuitivity of the calorie trackers I used, and I've tried them all. I've tried Yazio, MyFitnessPal, FTDB, CalAI. I've tried them all, but none of them really combines the things that are important to me. So I could just make a calorie tracker that fits my needs, because I know that me as an entrepreneur that doesn't have a lot of time to waste, doesn't want to sit and triple and quadruple check everything he puts into his calorie app. So my problem exists for more people for sure. And this would be a good idea. So here I just gave you 3 very simple ideas that are based on pain, and this is what you should do. That is step number 1 to creating an amazing software. Step number 2, after you have the initial idea that is based on pain, you go out there, you look at the market, and you check what exists already. Because most problems are problems that many people have, and there will be people that have thought of a solution, and there will be softwares that exist, maybe in a different niche, maybe in a little bit of a different sub-niche, but you have to check the market. You have to look what exists. And then you go a step deeper and look at inefficiencies. What are inefficiencies in the market? And the best way to do it is to go onto AppSumo, look for the kind of software that you'd be making and check if it exists. After that, you look at the reviews. You look at the things people comment under it. What do people not like? Which features would they wish for? Where do they feel that it's overpriced? You try to find inefficiencies in the market. You can also do this on the App Store on your iPhone. Very easy. You find an app, you look at the reviews, you make your conclusions. And what this will do is it will give you patterns. It will give you a more realistic approach to a software that in some way or form already exists, but that you can make just a tad bit better, more accurate for a niche, leaner, more efficient, faster, whatever it is. You can take something that solves a problem that you know where the solution already exists, but it's just not really good, and you can create an edge for yourself. Because this is what most softwares do, honestly. They take something that works in a slightly different niche, make it better, sell it. That's the secret. Because reinventing the wheel, it's not worth it. In 99% of cases, reinventing the wheel, it just fails. You're not Mark Zuckerberg. You will not make the new Facebook. Let's be realistic. And it made me millions. I did exactly this process. Other people, a friend of mine who made 100 million with software, he did exactly this process. It works. You do not have to reinvent the wheel. Step number 3, analyze and utilize trends. In tech, the whole scene moves very fast. Trends come and go. If you're too late to a trend, it won't work anymore. And I can tell you that the biggest trends for 2025 are 2 things. Everything with AI and no-code tools. So this is the 2 trends that exist and that you can use. For example, let's take AI automation. A software that solves a problem and that uses the trend would be a companion that sits in your calls, that transcribes them, but not just the normal transcribing, because they're actually all pretty horseshit. I tried most of them and they're not really good. But what this call buddy does, he sits in the call, he analyzes the call, he transcribes it, and he gives you a clear action plan. Another version that could work is an AI tool that sits in sales calls with you and that completely analyzes them and gives constructive feedback to the salesman. Believe me, this is something that every single salesman on this planet could use and would pay money for. So these are 2 ideas how you can use AI, and these are just things that came from the top of my head. But these are 2 ways how you could use the trend of AI for your idea. The other one would be no-code automations. Something that would require a skill and a complexity you make simple with your software. For example, the other day, I tried to find an AI thumbnail builder. I tried to find a tool that I can give my YouTube video and that makes a thumbnail for me, because I got an Instagram ad about something similar and I was like, that sounds pretty interesting. But the results were just horrible, honestly. It was not even usable. I thought that would be a cool no-code tool. Something where without having the massive design skills, it just makes a great thumbnail. And I'd feed it with all the data for good thumbnails. I feed it with thousands of good thumbnails, and I would just make it better than the competition. So now you have ideas for both the trends that I see this year, but this is just so you understand what these trends are. The no-code one is even bigger, but just it's using something that requires a lot of specific knowledge, making it simple. Even like a website builder would be sort of an example for it, or Canva. These are niches that I see going very, very well. AI and no-code tools. And obviously, if your idea and your concept does not utilize a trend, that's fine. You don't need this. This step is nice to have, but if you don't do it, it's not super important. But the next step, ooh, that one's important. Step number 4, test your idea. And now you better listen up, because this one is super important. Because regardless of how good your idea is, if you're some Delulu crazy guy that thinks his idea is straight from Albert Einstein, but other people don't think that, it's worthless. So what you will do after you have your idea, checked if there's a pain point, you checked if there's a competition, you analyzed the inefficiencies in the market. What you do now is you go on Reddit, you go on LinkedIn, you go into Facebook groups, or you even ask your friends. And you find people that have these pain points, that feel this pain that your product solves. And you ask them, would you use this? Would you pay for this? Be honest, yes or no. If yes, why? If no, why? And then you take that, you analyze that, and you see if there truly is a demand. Another great way to do it, that you build a website, you build a landing page for your software, for your concept. And you build it as if the software is finished. And in the bottom, you put coming soon, enter your email to get notified when it's done. done. That way, you will collect emails, you will see if there's a demand without even having the product. You can do these two ways to find out if there's a demand for your idea, if people feel the pain that you feel, if they see a solution is worth paying money for. That'll give you even more insight. That'll give you even more refinement on your idea. And then finally, step number 5 is to build and start. This is honestly where most people fail. They just sit down and do nothing. They are perfectionists. They want to optimize their idea to the maximum, have a full concept, open a company, have a tax structure, have this, have that, have the nicest design, have the best logo. But all they do is they're stuck in the theory. They never really get things done in practice. Don't be this guy. Find someone to do the tech for you. I don't have any knowledge about tech, but it does not matter. You have the idea, you have the concept, you have the pain, build it. Done. Don't be this guy that overthinks everything and needs to have every little tiny detail planned out and mapped out. Get started. Okay, these are the 5 steps to having a perfect idea for your software business. Let me know if you find these kind of videos interesting, if I should make more these kinds of videos where I go in depth into a topic about software, because honestly, as I said in the intro, this is the business that changed my life. I went from being a school kid that could not afford a full menu at the kebab place to sleeping in a $2,000 per night suite, wearing watches, driving nice cars, traveling as much as I want, being able to take care of my family, buying cars for my families, bringing them iPhones just for heck of it. You know what I mean? Like, this is such a great life I live, and software did it for me. Plain and simple. Software changed my life. I'm not selling you some course, but software literally changed my life. And I want to use my YouTube channel to give you this and to show you this, how you can do it as well. I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.